How are you doing, everybody? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the BBC Spews, the best live / news / ill-tempered, foul-mouthed, comical current affairs show on YouTube. Everybody knows it. And it's the 23rd of June. Huzzah! What have we got today, then? First things first, let's have a look at this. I was pissing myself laughing when I saw this on Twitter. Just listen to this. Tell us, Joe. Tell us how to sum up America, please. Please do it.
That can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
That's not edited either. That's class, isn't it? America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. The bloke is a fucking idiot. Honestly, you wouldn't let him run you a bath, would you? You wouldn't trust him to walk your dog. If you like, if you're going on holiday and you had to have someone over twice to take the dog out twice a day, you wouldn't pick him. You know for a fact he'd fuck it up. Apparently, it was one of Obama's. It was a genuine quote, wasn't it? That he said, "Trust you to fuck it up." This is what I've been telling you lot for ages. People that are really interested in politics, like me. And I'm sure a lot of you watching. No, you're not all here for the eye candy, are you? The fucking bloke has been a moron for 40 years. They used to talk about Joe Biden being an idiot in the 90s, like when he first went to Northern Ireland on a trip. And everybody was like, whoa, this guy's ignorant as fuck. It's been known for ages. And he's not going to get cleverer as he gets senile, is he? Do you know what I mean? The bloke was thick when he was 40. He plagiarized he basically cheated his way through law school, plagiarized speeches. His entire career, he was a moron. He was always a moron. And then when he's senile, then we'll make him in charge of the country. Oh, yeah, that's good. Very wise, that, wasn't it? Yeah, isn't that true? Exactly. And again, I'm a reasonable chap. I bounce around the edges politically. I'll go all over the place. I'm not a partisan. Bush was a fucking idiot. Bush Jr., Bush Sr. was clever. Evil genius, wasn't he, Bush Sr.? Bush Jr. was a fucking idiot. And you compare him to Biden, the man is a savant, genius. That's just a fact. So, shocking, innit? Like father, like son, fucking hell. And his son, the apple didn't fall far from it. Basically, they are just a despicable, detestable family, aren't they? All of them. Joe Biden's a detestable worm. A detestable worm. He got into politics so he could self-aggrandize and enrich himself on behalf of the US taxpayer. Fleeced the taxpayers for 40 years, made himself a multimillionaire by taking money out of the pockets of plumbers and bricklayers and bus drivers. And he's a liar. He's as bent as an $8 bill. His son is a dirty smack rat. Some of the photos off his laptop are really disgusting. If you've floated around Twitter, you'll have seen some of them. Really, really, Hunter Biden's a fucking awful person. If there's ever he should be doing 25 years, that audible sex pest, fucking dirtball that he is. And his dad's no different. Kiddie sniffing illiterate. Like I said, he was a half-wit when he was young. So what are you going to do? Almost invented a word there. What else was on my Twitter? I put things on my Twitter when I just glance them and think they're funny and I want to mention them on the stream. Look at that one. Unbelievable in-your-face noncery. This is a good one, isn't it? From Libs of TikTok. Oklahoma Pride Organization is looking for child drag artists to perform at a Pride event. And I read the thing and I was like, hang on. It says, calling all musicians, drag artists, dancers, and talents, ages 13 to 20. I'm trying to blow it up a little bit. There we are. Calling all musicians, drag artists, dancers, and talents, age 13 to 20. Now, I'm going to make more of a fuss of it than they did because they just retweeted it. Think about that. Why would they put the age limit of 13 on there? Either it's sexualized and weird and therefore only should be suitable for over the age of 18, or it's fine and kids can do it. So if they just put calling drag artists and dancers and talents, if what I'm saying is we know what we think of it, but if they believed that being a drag artist was just not sexual at all, because they always say that, no, it's not sexual. Yeah, they act just like strippers, you know, the ones that suck blokes off after they put dollar bills down their knickers. I mean, they might act like strippers, but it's not sexual. Desmond is amazing. It's not sexual, that. No, it's definitely not sexual. Well, if it's definitely not sexual, you lying commie rat. Why have you put an age limit of 13 on there, right? Hello to Twitch, sensible people that watch on Twitch. Why have you put the age limit on there? And if you've put an age limit on there because you don't think it's acceptable for little kids, why the fuck is it 13? How mad's that? How mad's that? Just think about it. If they believe their rhetoric about drag artists, especially these transgender drag queen story time fucking dancing around with your knickers, if they believed it wasn't sexualized, there wouldn't be an age limit on it. They'd say, bring your toddlers, bring your preschoolers, bring your kids. We'll get them all dressed up in drag because it's not sexual. But they've put a 13 on there, so it is sexual. So basically, you want to bum 13-year-olds, don't you? I mean, am I being a bit... I'd love it. Where's the average woke twat that's always in the chat? I'd love to hear the argument for this. If it's not sexualized, doesn't need an age limit. Bring your toddlers. If it is sexualized, that should say 18 plus, shouldn't it? 13. You want to bum 13-year-old boys, lads, don't you? just be honest about it. Just be honest about it. It's fucking shocking. So yeah, that is absolutely fucking scandalous. Aussie Sky News is indeed fantastic. What do I think of Sky, of Star Trek Strange New Worlds? Ah, right. I have been asked about that. And because I'm a Trekkie, you would think I've watched it. But when I say I'm a Trekkie, that means I've watched the original series and I've watched TNG through. You know, I've literally watched them through about 10 times from start to finish. But ever since Enterprise, I've stopped watching. I got through one episode of Picard and nearly smashed the fucking telly up. And ever since then, Discovery's shite. I watched like 3 and thought, this is bollocks. And then Enterprise, 1 episode, nearly smashed the telly up. Never watched anything since. I haven't watched Lower Decks. I haven't watched Strange New Worlds. I've heard good things. If I keep hearing good things, I might be able to convince myself to dip a toe back in. But Picard made me want to fucking... It was almost enough to make me go on a machine gun rampage at a Star Trek convention. It made me hate myself that I could watch that and think I'm like the people that watch that. It was just absolutely shocking. So yeah, I haven't watched it yet, mate. I may do one of these days. Rotten Politics is in again. Hello again, mate. Like I said, went quiet for a bit. Thought he'd been fingered by Suze. Give Rotten Politics a like and a share if you're if you have normal politics. You have normal politics. What else did I think was good? So that is fucked up, isn't it? 13 to 20. Oh, it's definitely not sexual. Definitely. Oh, definitely not sexual. Yeah, of course it's not, lads. Of course it's not. Yeah, cheers. Fucking 13-year-olds in gimp suits. They should all be in fucking jail. If 13 to 20, they should raid it. They should send the SWAT team around, kick the doors in. And when they see a 13-year-old lad dressed up with arseless chaps and a fucking ball in his mouth, they should just jail everyone in the room. Yeah, shocking. What else is good? Funny, we can describe you in one word. Yeah, we can. Blue Van Man. I've seen some. What else have I seen that's good? Oh, yeah, that was good and all. This wanker. Andrew Gillum. Do you remember him? Remember him? The man's a rat. And he was running against DeSantis in Florida. Turns out he's been nicked. 21 felonies. He's a crook. He's a thief. He's a liar. And I loved him. And you know what it reminded me of? Michael Avianati. And it made me think, if I Google BBC Avianati, I wonder if I can find anything good. Have a look. Yeah, honestly, right. So this bloke, just if any of you don't know, I'm talking about here again because this is more US centric, but I want to have a quick word about it because I have a hypothesis as to why this is occurring so much. Andrew Gillum was obviously, he was talking about wholesome value, family values. He was doing crystal meth, bumming rent boys, stealing money, everything you can think of, like a movie villain, right? And they turned him into a hero. And the lefties were all going, oh, you know what? Andrew Gillum should be the next president. Oh, I love him. I love him. I love him. Turns out the man is a fucking sloshing Portaloo, right? And they loved him. So I think it's something worth talking about because what's obviously clear to anybody with eyes since Michael Avenatti and now Andrew Gillum is that charlatans, fraudsters, the worst people on earth, obviously, because they haven't got any moral fibre, the worst people on earth will do anything and say anything to achieve their nefarious deeds. It's like pedos joining the Catholic Church because they know they'll have access to fucking young boys. Bless you, my child. Have you heard that one? Why is a choir boy? Oh, it doesn't really work. You have to be stood up. Why is a choir boy always got a centre part? Bless you, my child. Like sucking the priest off. This is what people who have got no moral fibre do. They're absolute scum, and they'll say and do anything to achieve their nefarious aims, right? And this is painfully obvious to anybody who's even remotely impartial. But I'll spell it out for those of you who don't know who he is. The short version is this piece of shit was standing vocally against Trump. And because he was standing vocally against Trump, the left embraced him in a totally irrational manner. And my point is, people like him are predators, and they know that the people who have Trump derangement syndrome, because it's definitely a thing. People like, my missus, Democrat for fucking 20 years, she simply doesn't like him and wouldn't vote for him. That's a fair one. If you don't like him and you're not conservative, fair enough. But Trump derangement syndrome is a thing. The hatred for him belies all rationality and common sense. So predators like this guy and like Andrew Gillum know they can take advantage of this because you've got pathological people. And when you've got this pathological, totally all-consuming hatred for someone that doesn't make any sense, you embrace anybody that stands against him. It can be seen in the reply guy on Twitter. There's people out there in this world who've basically made a living on the back of hating Trump. Do you remember those fucking twats on Twitter? Someone will remind me the name. What's the name of those ridiculous South African twins who basically became internet famous because they set an algorithm up and every single time Trump tweeted, they were underneath it saying the opposite. Like he'd say, we should make America great again. And they instantly reply, America was never great, orange man. And from that, they became famous. Was it Krasenstein? That's it, Krasenstein. Nobody told me, I remembered. The Krasenstein twins. There's dozens of people that become famous from just becoming the Trump reply guy, right? And the point I'm getting at is, now Diamond and something is fans of Trump. The black women who love Trump. Yeah, there's women, there's people who got to the top being his best mate as well. But he was so popular, wasn't he? So divisive and so famous. But the Krasenstein twins, Ed Krasenstein, I think he's called, they basically managed to launch a career based off hating Trump. So predators like Michael Avenatti, and Smollett's a good example, and Andrew Gillum, and I can reel them off, I can go all week. They're obviously awful people who know they can play on the derangements of the Trump derangement syndrome crowd by extending themselves against them. And this guy is a proper piece of shit. And he's now in prison. But what's funny about it is, he's a thief, he's a liar, he's a crook, and he's now in prison. And yet he was embraced in a genuinely alarming. I wonder if anyone's ever made a compilation video about it. If I just type it in on YouTube, Avenatti. Tucker has. Oh no, it took us on there arguing with him because he called him a creepy porn lawyer. Here we are. Let's watch this together. Tucker shreds. Michael Avenatti highlighting his great demise because I'm sure it's going to be on here.
On that
There's massive amounts of left-wing ideologues who turned the guy into a fucking hero, and they just loved it. Let's just watch this for a couple of minutes and see if this will give us some examples. Because honestly, they were fawning all over him. And what I'm getting at is this is identical to what they did with Andrew Gillum. Fucking rent boys, sleaze, corruption, theft, drug abuse. Who the fuck wants to vote for a guy to be president when he's doing crystal meth off a rent boy's cock? I mean, call me a bluff old traditionalist. I don't think people that sniff high mind-altering hallucinogenics off a fucking sex worker's throbbing penis are going to be all about the job. You know, I think the judgment's going to be slightly altered. But let's see if there's a nice collection of talking heads saying good things about this blow.
tape failed miserably. Do not issue them driver's licenses. They're not capable. They fell for it hard. In a single week in March of 2018, if you can remember that far back, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, and NBC News interviewed the creepy porn lawyer a total of, not making this up, because we counted 147 times. So we got to get in on that. We got to interview the creepy porn lawyer. We had only
147 times they interviewed him, sucking him off, trying to make him the president just because he argued vociferously with Trump. I mean, let that sink in. It's delusional, crazy behavior, and it sums up the modern left.
One opportunity to talk to him in studio. Here's part of it. You've profited from Stormy Daniels. You've done tens of millions of dollars worth of free media on the basis of your relationship with her, and she's working in strip clubs. You're exploiting her, and you know that. Why aren't you paying her some of what you're making?
Sir, this is absurd.
But answer my question. Why are you rich and your client is working in seedy strip clubs?
Sir, do you have any idea how much money I've earned?
You're on every cable show. You're running for president now.
You have no idea.
Well, I know that you haven't paid your taxes, and like so many lawyers, you were taking advantage of her. And you pose as a feminist hero because you are shameless, and the other channels let you
pose as a feminist hero because you're a sexual predator, right? That's obvious. Sexual predators pose as feminists. It's the oldest trick in the book. It's like I've talked about the so that's at the start here. It's like the nature's camouflage, right? Nature's camouflage that was on a comic stone toss, and it's like nature's camouflage, and it's crocodile with just his eyes peering out the water, spider in the brush, and then a fat sweaty bloke with a pussy hat on and a I'm with her t-shirt. And this is the advice I've given to women that watch. Like, seriously, if you meet a bloke, I know lasses use like dating apps nowadays. If you meet a bloke who's like, what would you call it? Like a rough diamond, like a normal bloke who seems quite well put together and seems reasonable in all ways, but isn't really vocal about women's issues because he's a bloke. And he's more interested in fucking motocross and steak and football. That's who you want to be going out with. If you meet a bloke and all he does is talk about women's rights, I'm an activist for women's issues. He's probably got 3 teenagers chained to the fucking radiator in his basement. Those people should genuinely creep you out because it's the oldest trick in the book. It's human nature. You're a sexual deviant, you're a sexual predator, you do whatever it takes to get your rocks off. You'll become a priest, you'll go on the marches with the pussy hats, you'll wear the I'm with her t-shirts, and all you're interested in is fucking smashing flange because you're a sex pest. It's so painfully obvious. And look what the mainstream media made of this degenerate, liar, crook, thief, sex pest, and now incarcerated felon.
They called him a future president.
Value most. If they decide they value a fighter most,
yes,
people would be foolish to underestimate Michael Avenatti.
Existential threat to the Trump presidency. Please welcome attorney Michael Avenatti.
Look at that fucking applause. like he's an all-conquering hero because he basically said Trump's a cunt. And the delusional walk embraced him without doing basic checks and research and about maybe thinking maybe he's a prick, maybe he's a manipulative prick, and he's just saying this because he wants to come across like a splendid gentleman. Maybe he'd love to belt one into my 14-year-old while I'm out fucking walking the dog. Maybe he'd like to fucking push my granny down the stairs and steal all the money out of a bastard biscuit tin. Maybe. No. All you had to do was go, Trump's a cunt. And they went, ooh, he's handsome as well. No, he's not. He's a baldy cunt with eyes like a shithouse rat. What do you mean he's handsome? You're just mentally ill. You're just mentally ill. And it's time to face the mirror.
No one has talked tougher directly to Donald Trump on TV than Michael Avenatti. And Donald Trump is afraid to mention his name.
Michael Avenatti is a beast.
Okay, that's true.
And
he's a beast.
He's a beast, and he keeps popping Donald Trump and all of his folks in the mouth repeatedly. He's a beast. And so John Meacham says he may be the savior of the republic.
I owe Michael Avenatti an apology. For the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, enough already, Michael. I've seen you everywhere. What do you have left to say? I was wrong, brother.
I was wrong, brother. Fuck me. How good's that? So how good's that? Creepy porn lawyer. Sorry, I just had to close the patio. There was a plane overhead and it was quite noisy. So that's shocking, isn't it? Delusional. And the rise and fall of Andrew Gillum is more of the fucking same. Brilliant. So that's why I want to talk about that. I got to the point in the end. And the BBC haven't covered it as well. I obviously Googled Andrew Gillum, BBC, so I could cover this piece of shit on the BBC Spews. And what did I find? The only story on the BBC regarding Andrew Gillum was Democratic star ex-mayor Andrew Gillum to enter rehab. Star. Rehab. There's nothing about him getting indicted on 21 felonies. Look, police found him heavily intoxicated in a hotel. And they called him a hero. Because he stood against Trump. That's not enough. To any sane person, that's not enough. You have to stand for something. Logical people should want real integrity from a leader. They should want them to stand for something. It's not enough to just be against the person you hate unless you're deranged, unless you're delusional. They say, cometh the hour, cometh the man. They don't say, cometh the hour, cometh the bloke who thinks the last guy's a cunt. Because that's nothing. We can all think someone's a cunt. I think Biden's a cunt. It doesn't mean I should be the president of the United States. You need to have someone that really has a platform of their own, has convictions, has inner strength, has all these good qualities. And the insane walk left don't require any of that. Any of it. Hence the reason the current president has got fucking rice pudding for a brain. All that is enough for them is that you didn't like Trump. Yeah, Trump, yeah. I mean, look what we've got. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Neither of them have got any substance. They just haven't. There's loads of better Democrats you could pick. I'm being serious as well. I mean, I don't want to be saying nice things about the Democrats because they've gone off a cliff. But any of them, Klobuchar, she was all right. Like, you might not like Amy Klobuchar, but she's got her own opinions. She's got long-held beliefs that you can trace back a decade. She actually stood for something of her own account. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were just the loudest critics of Trump. And they walked that into the White House. And like I said, if talentless, charmless twats like the Krasensteins can become famous off hating Trump, and Michael Avenatti can become famous simply from hating Trump, or Andrew Gillum, despite all of his glaring flaws, can become famous for hating Trump, why can't anybody do it? Why can't midwits, or midwits is Kamala Harris, total inept, gibbering buffoon is Joe Biden. Why can't midwits and buffoons do it? That's what happened. They made a hero out of Avenatti, they made a hero out of Gillum, and 2 lackwits walked all the way into the White House. By the tap with no sink. That is, that's like a countertop bar, because it's an apartment. It's not very big, like the bedroom's through there. That's a countertop bar with a kitchen behind it. So there is a sink. That's just like a bar for 2 people. There is a sink, trust me. We don't just piss water into our hands like we're in the third world. Drink out of our hands. Bath under it, sort of sit underneath it and scrub yourself with a toilet brush. Yeah, that's why. So that's mad, isn't it? Hunter sticking. Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. If Hunter talked loudly and vociferously enough about Trump all the time and how much he hates him, then they'd probably give him the gig as well. Yeah, they vote for anybody with no morals. Judas bastards. Right, we'll do another stop. But anyway, that was the main crux of this rant today. It was illustrating the fact that you can ride the wave of Trump derangement syndrome to the dizziest heights you can think of. You can ride anti-Trump sentiment all the way into the White House, even if you're not fit for the job, and most Democrats know it. Even if you're a fucking idiot, you can ride Trump derangement syndrome wave all the way to the White House. Even if you're wholly unqualified, you can ride it all the way to the vice president's chair. And even if you're a rapist or a sex pest or a thief or a crook or a felon like Andrew Gillum or Michael Avenatti, both of them getting fawned over by the media, by good-looking women in the media. Oh, he's so handsome. I wish he was the president. You're mentally ill, love. Like, seek help. There's nothing about his character that should have said to you, this is a good man. But you were so desperate to believe it because you hate Donald Trump and he stood loudly against him. You were willing to see a sexual deviant, scum, crook, thief, liar, meth head in the White House. And you fawned over him as you said it. It's pathetic. If that's not evidence that the Trump derangement lot need a fucking serious professional help, or at the very least a slap and a wake-up call, I don't know what is. Oh, yeah. So now I'm going to show you another good one. Thanks to John Icky, who sent me this. This is a beauty. It's unending comedy gold on the Equality Matters page on the BBC. Unending comedy gold. The employees who transition genders during remote work. When he sent me the story, I responded with, well, because in the header here, it says, transgender people who transition during the pandemic are reintroducing themselves to colleagues as they return to offices. The process isn't always straightforward. And I responded to Mr. Hickey, no shit, it's not straightforward. Imagine walking into the office. Morning, everyone. It's been a while. Fuck me, Janice has got a cock. That's gonna take you by surprise. I mean, I consider myself a stoic gentleman. I'm hard to shock. But if I haven't seen Janice for 12 months, and then I walk in and she's got a clacker, hairy nips, and a 10-inch fucking lob on, I'll tell you what, that would take me aback as well. So, yeah, that's good, isn't it? Let's have a quick read. When the world slowed down at the start of the pandemic, 36-year-old Joe Parcell had more time to contemplate their gender identity. They turned to books to make sense of how Shakespeare must be turning in his grave. It's like everything's written by a fucking idiot. Parcell read stacks of memoirs and essay collections by LBGTQ+. I thought it was LGBTQ. I mean, am I getting better at this than the BBC, or have they changed? They have to flip the letters around just to fuck with us. It's LGBTQ+, isn't it? Sorry, it's LGBTQ+ IA. Fucking hell, the Bootneck's better at this than the average social justice activist because most of them can't read. The personal essay collections of LBGTQ+, who identified as trans masculine. Fuck me. I'll tell you what, I was going to have a pop at them for not hiring proofreaders, but you have to be Stephen Hawking to make fucking head nor tail of this shit, don't you? The LGBTQ plus authors who identified as trans masculine, people assigned female at birth who identify with masculinity, and non-binary, those who do not feel they have a solely female or male identity. I had a lot of time in my own apartment to really read through a lot of experiences of people who had been thinking about gender and presentation, says Parcell. It allowed me to really reflect more deeply about how I wanted to be moving through the world. Walking, we do with that, yeah. That's how we do it, humans. Jogging, driving, buses and trains. It's not hard. Moving through the world. I hate the way they talk. I hate the way they talk. Parcell, a children's librarian. Oh my God. Why are they always into kids? What? Is it any coincidence? Children's librarian. It wasn't going to be Parcell, a plumber, was it? Was it? Am I being too cynical? Have you noticed how they're always doing proper weird jobs? This is what I'm saying about it seems to give legs to the argument that a lot of them are just mental. Because you very rarely see trans man Joe is a window cleaner. You don't see that, do you? And as I've said, I know normal gay people. I know a gay couple live in Texas. You wouldn't know. Go around their house for a drink, normal. Say, all right, how are you doing? Sound. Talk politics. They voted for Trump, which is another inconvenient fact for woke cunts. But you wouldn't even know. Normal. Spent a whole 2 hours, went round with my missus, had a chat with them, talked about politics, weather, sports, life, left. Not once did any of them go, ooh, I'm well into cock. Because these mental wokists practice an illiberal, authoritarian stereotype of liberalism. It's fucked in the head. And all they do is contradict themselves. But gay people don't fit under an umbrella. You get gay conservatives. You get gay Trump voters. Just deal with it. Communist. You're a weirdo. And everything you say is weird. And you vote for mentally ill sex pests because they didn't like Trump. It's, you just have a look in the mirror. Anyway, Parcell, definitely not a window cleaner or a bricklayer. Parcell, a children's librarian, of course, a children's librarian who uses they, them pronouns, realised they were non-binary. Throughout the next few months while working from home, them was it do. Fuck me. Parcell explored their gender presentation by changing their hair and wardrobe and taking a walk around their neighbourhood. Fuck Jesus Christ. My eyes are bleeding. My eyes are bleeding. Oh, I need a rest. Hang on. They felt more in control of their process because social distancing and remote work meant they didn't have to explain themselves to others. And while Parcell, just keep writing Parcell, led literacy programs, what, using insane pronouns? Can the kids read in Parcell's fucking class? Two things. Can the kids in Parcell's class read? And do any of the little boys walk with a bit of a limp? Do any of the kids in Parcell's class have what looks like wallpaper paste down the front of the shirt? No, maybe like chapped lips. I'm just asking for concerned parents everywhere. Just look for, if it looks every time they come home, it looks like they've got like Pritt stick in their hair. Parcell might be a bit busy at school, is all I'm saying. Parcell led literacy programs for children and parents on Zoom and introduced themselves with a new name and pronouns. It definitely felt a lot safer. It's 2022. You're all fucking safe. I'm sick of seeing you everywhere I go safe. You're safe. Oxford Street now, it looks like a gay nightclub. You're safe. Well, you're not safe in Pakistan or Algeria, but we don't talk about that, do we? You have to pretend you're not safe in downtown Manhattan. You have to pretend you're not safe in Brighton so we can continue with this farce we call clown world. But you're safe. You know you're safe. Not only are you safe, you're safer than me because you're on the top of the tree and I'm on the bottom rung. So don't keep talking to me about this nonsense. Everybody knows it's nonsense. You are safe. You're safe. You're safe because you've got the whip hand and you're in charge now, Parcell, despite whatever proclivities you get up to when the parents aren't fucking looking. Anyway, due to the safe space, how many times have I made this point as well? Safe space. I'm sick of them talking about this, right? Whenever you have an argument with a wanker on the far left, in any fucking way, shape, or form, they say something deranged, and you say, you're having a laugh, aren't you? They go, ooh, triggered. Ooh, triggered. Do you want to go in your safe space? No, dickhead. That's your fucking parlance. You're the ones who invented the bastard term. You're the one who needed universities to throw people out who you didn't like to listen to. You're the one who made safe spaces with puppies and crayons. You're the pathetic, cringing losers that fucking dehumanized and fucking de-adultified an entire generation and created a generation of mentally ill woke communists addicted to pills and sucking cocks, right? Don't tell me I'm triggered. I'm not triggered. I just strongly disagree with you. You're the ones who say you get triggered. Oh my God, I'm getting really triggered right now. It's you. You say that. No conservative has ever said the trigger. Donald Trump argues with people all fucking year. He's been arguing with people for 10 years. He doesn't go, I'm triggered. Does he? It's not what to say. Have you ever heard Ted Cruz say he's triggered? Ron DeSantis? Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm triggered. No, he's just calling communists cunts. That's what we're all doing. We're not triggered. We just hate you because your ideology is toxic and it always builds mountains of skulls everywhere it goes. It is the death of civilization and we want to tell you so. Not triggered, just disgusted. Just disgusted. Anyway, the safe space. God. Parcell is one of a group who came out, blah, blah. All right, well, I've had enough of reading it. It's pure eyeball cancer. Isn't it? Just gobbledygook, illiterate, badly written fucking word soup, full of shit. I just, yeah, it's total bollocks. Basically, Parcell wants to be on the BBC. Parcell wants to be in the BBC's stories and in your kids. So that'll do. That'll do. I've had enough of reading that. I tell you what, that was hard work. I need a week off. I need a week off after reading that. My eyeballs, it's like they've been powdered. I've been rinsing them with whiskey and powdered glass. Like someone replaced my Optrex with Jack Daniels and powdered glass, and I was like giving them a good slosh. That was horrendous. Absolutely shocking. Clown world is fucking real. The world's gone completely mad, and the fact that we give column inches to these psychopaths genuinely distresses me. There you go. But I'm not triggered. I'm simply angry. All right, we'll call it there, I think. Thanks for checking it out, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back tomorrow. It's for Friday. We'll have a bit more crack tomorrow. Please feel free to send me any shite stories you think will enrage me, and we'll cover them together. All right, thanks for watching. Toodle pip. See you all later. Cheers.